We can find it, just in the essay format. We find it in so many different ways, different avenues. We can find, that persuasive text. So like I said, it's not just limited to, the written word, but also other forms as well. So the big question that we have to ask ourselves, right? Every time you're reading, a text, or every time you're listening to maybe a speech or wherever it may be, all right, you have to think about the big question, all right? How does an author influence the attitude and actions of others through the text, all right, that they're using, through their speech or wherever it may be? So how are they seeking to influence you? All right, how are they trying to get their point across? How are they trying to make you side, with their particular point of view, in reference to a matter, So the big question now, how to analyze a persuasive text. All right, so one of the things is that when you read a text, it's important to clarify the issue being debated. All right, so one of the first things that you want to do is you want to identify what the main issue or concern is. All right, and it's always best when you trying to identify what the main issue or concern is, you are going to phrase that into a question. All right, that can help you, to really understand what is being argued over. So we have sample questions. If you were reading a particular text, all right, you would say, should teens have the right to private medical appointments? Should euthanasia be legalized? Should fox poisoning be banned? Should heroin be discriminated? So all of these are issues that are rephrased in the question. So it helps you as a reader to really think critically about the issue that's being presented in the persuasive text, all right, in the persuasive essay or in the speech, all right, wherever medium you may come across it. All right, so step one, we talk about identifying the main issue. All right, step two is identifying the author's contention. And anyone can tell me, what do I mean by the author's contention? What do I mean by the author's contention? If we are identifying the author's contention, what do I mean by that? All right, Alicia, you said perspective. Anybody else? All right, what do I mean by author's contention? Come on, take a guess. Don't be afraid. I need you to help me. All right, what do I mean by author's contention? So Alicia said perspective. All right, Stephanie says point of view. Okay. All right, so we have perspective and we have point of view. If you agree with them, you could give them a thumbs up. All right, if not, you can just state your idea of it. All right, Fulano says argument. All right, I see Stephanie has 2 thumbs up. Alicia has 1. All right, Miguel, we understand. Thanks for letting us know. All right, so definitely you're correct. All right, if you say a perspective point of view, I'll definitely take those. An argument, I guess somewhat yes. All right, so it is at the end of the day the author's opinion, about that particular issue. Remember we said we identify the issue. So let's say that uh, heroin should be, well, let's say teens have the right to private medical appointments would be the issue. And then we would say, well, the author opinion is that they should not have the right to private medical appointments, right? So you're correct in saying that it is the point of view of the author, and dealing with a particular issue. So contention is simply another word for a point of view or opinion. All right, so you read the persuasive writing carefully, all right, and then you ask yourself the question: what does the writer believe in all of this? All right, is they said that the issue would have been, okay, should teens really have a private uh, be able to, I guess, have private appointments. All right, that would have been the issue, and then the author will have said, "Well, I disagree with that." All right, so what does the writer believe about that particular issue? All right, so starting a sentence with the word "that" can help you identify the writer's contention. So, and everything that we have when it comes down to persuasion, the author has something that they're trying to persuade you into believing or persuade you into doing, and as a reader, all right, or as a good listener, you're trying to pinpoint what exactly is their particular stand on an issue, and that is the author's contention. And then tone, and you guys should already know about tone. All right, what topic did we go over that dealt with tone? Anybody can remember? You remember tone? You remember Wes? Da 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 da. Wow. Even after all of that, no responses coming as yet. What is tone? I thought people have been jumping at this. Have you forgotten already what tone is? And the chat is dry. Milano says types of speech. Anybody else? Tone. The writer's attitude, Stephanie. All right. Anybody else? In literature, the tone of a literary work expresses the writer's attitude or feeling. You and Google, I could clearly see have a good connection. Because boy, wow, that is like a dictionary, like that is so specific and so detailed. All right, Alexander, how the writer feels. All right, the way someone speaks, mood of the writer, emotion. All right, very good responses. I definitely like is the writer's attitude, all right, towards what they're writing. All right, the writer attitude or feeling towards that particular topic or issue. All right, so tone refers to the overall feeling of a piece of writing. All right, that overall feeling that you get, all right, that the writer is trying to, convey to you. All right, because they have a particular issue in mind. They have a particular belief about the issue, and they're expressing that belief, out on paper or through their words, and that's also conveying a tone as well. All right, and that tone is how they feel about the topic or the issue that they are presenting to you. All right, so we have examples of tones, and there are so many others. All right, you could think of many other adjectives, all right, that can describe the tone of a piece of writing. But here we have passionate, emotional, objective, ardent, serious, witty, humorous, satirical. All right, satirical basically almost as humorous. All right, you're poking fun, at something that you see, maybe even when society. All right, and you're making light of it in a comical way, but also it has like a serious undertone as well. But all right, these are examples of what adjectives that we can use to describe a tone in a piece of persuasive writing. So anybody could think of any other adjectives that can be used to describe a persuasive piece of writing? What other potential tones can we come across that is not part of this list, but you can think of it? On an adjective, anyone? Frustrated, okay. Kania. All right, one more. Anybody else? Frightened. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you guys for participating, not leaving me hanging. All right, so the last step. All right, so we're talking about identify the issue, identify the writer's contention, all right, identify the tone, and now the fourth step, all right, is identify the persuasive techniques, tying everything in, all of the persuasive techniques, all of the propaganda techniques, all of these techniques that you have already been introduced to and taught. All right, you are now going to read that text, all right, or you are now going to listen to our speech, or wherever it may be, and you're analyzing of it. You're going to be looking at how is the writer bringing their point across? What are the persuasive techniques that they are using to get you to buy into a particular viewpoint or opinion? So writers can use a range of techniques to persuade. When you're reading persuasive writing or writing persuasively or writing persuasively yourself, sorry, you need to think carefully about how techniques like these are used to position the reader to accept a particular point of view. All right, we have examples, all right, of, persuasive techniques, alliteration, appeals, anecdotes, emotive words, exaggeration, simile, metaphor, pun, sarcasm. Now, anybody can add to that list and give me what else should be there but isn't there at this point that you have been taught with the past lessons. What other persuasive techniques can you think you can add to this list? All right, what are some propaganda techniques? All right, can you add to this list of examples I have here? So help me teach. What other things that we can add there? Come on, grade 11. Can you actually recall any other ones? Analogy. Very good. Very good. Personification. Okay. Ethos and pathos. All right, anybody else? Very good. What other ones you can think about? What other persuasive techniques can you think about? Can you recall what you have been taught? It's very, very important because you want to make the connections. Even though we teach, isolate those lessons in isolation, all of them come together, to make you more established as a reader, as a writer, even as a speaker. So, plain folks, very good. Any other things? I see it's starting to come now. You're starting to recall bandwagon. Okay, very good, very good, Kania. You see, you haven't forgotten. You're remembering. All right, so at least, Mr. You can say that you have some students, all right, who still haven't forgotten. All right, appeal to emotion and Kania again, busting the 3 point. Come on, guys, man. Can't only be Kania who remembers. All right, what was taught. All right, don't just say, "Oh, that's a different lesson. Let me forget." But no, all of these tie in, to make you more efficient. And the four critical areas that we deal with in the language arts. So you have to tie in everything together because it's all interconnected. All right, it's all interrelated. Very good. Rhetorical. All right, Miracle. Very good. Rhetorical questions. Appeal to authority. Yes. Yuri. Very good. All right, so recall to mind all of those things that you've been taught because they are necessary as you move forward, even during the semester. So, rational appeal, yes. Good. Very good. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Uh, what I want to do now is actually is thank you. What I want to do now is actually ask or call on a few of you if you are willing to actually read. Can you just put your hands up and one of us will unmute you and then you can read this passage for us, please, or at least a portion of it. Any volunteers? Any willing readers? All right, thank you, Michaela. You can open your mic and you can read.
Churchill's speech, "We shall fight on the beaches." Great Britain's Prime Minister Winston Churchill delivered a speech to the House of Commons on June 4, 1940. Churchill explained that the British effort in the World War II was not going well and that a German invasion of Britain was possible. A gifted orator,
Mm-hmm.
Churchill A gifted orator, Churchill knew he must convince the British people that victory would come someday. When Churchill gave his speech, the US had not yet entered World War II. He references his hope that the New World, meaning the US, would join the war. Below is the end of his speech.
Thank you. All right, I think Alicia said that she wanted to try. So, all right, Alicia, you can unmute your mic and you can read. Hmm.
Come on. It's loading.
Okay. Are you able to read, Alicia? Because we can't hear you. All right.
Okay.
Okay, go
I
ahead
can
now.
hear you.
I can hear you now.
I have I have myself full confidence that if all do their duty, if nothing is neglected, and if the best arrangements are made as they are being made, we shall prove ourselves once again able to defend our island home, to ride out the storm of war, and to outlive the menace of tyranny, if necessary for years, if necessary alone. At any rate, that is what we are going to try to do. That is the resolve of His Majesty's government, every man of them. That is the will of Parliament and the nation. The British Empire and the French Republic, linked together in their cause and in their need, will defend to death their native soil, aiding each other like good comrades to the utmost of their strength. Even though large tracts of Europe and many old and famous states have fallen or may fall into the grip of the Gestapo and
Mm,
all the odious apparatus of Nazi rule, we shall not flag or fail. We
thank
shall
you.
go on the end. Okay.
A very good reading. Yes. So far, we had some very good readers. Anybody else now wanna carry us home? Anyone else is willing? All right, Alicia, can you finish for us, please?
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island. Whatever the cost may be, we shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. And if, which I do not for a moment believe, this island or a large part of it were subjugated
Subjugated. Mhm.
and starving. Then our empire beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British fleet, would carry on the struggle until, in God's good time, the new world with all its power and might step forward to the rescue and to the liberation of the old.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right, so
You're welcome.
based on what we have just read, anybody can, first of all, identify what the issue is. What's the issue? And there's speech, because this is a speech, of course, written by, well, spoken by the then Prime Minister Winston Churchill. So anybody can actually identify what the issue or concern is of that time. Give you a moment to think about it. If you have to read it again, that's fine. But I want you to really think about what is the overall issue or concern. Use your context clues. If inferencing need be used as well, to try to really figure out what is the main idea of the passage, and why would he be given this, why is he giving this speech, what's going on at this time. All right, so I see some people said a war. Good. All right, so you definitely is a war. All right, I see someone says world war. All right, very good. All right, so definitely is a war. All right, and now in identifying the fact that the issue is there's a war, right? The second thing that we need to identify then is uh, the author's contention. And by author's contention, what are their point of view about the war? What do they believe, or what do he believe should be done at this point? Okay, you just mentioned war, so we can imagine that Britain is threatened. In fact, it's even mentioned. All right, even and I highlighted portion of it at the beginning. It gives you a very very good idea as to what they want. So, what would be the author's contention? What is their opinion about this particular issue? There's a war going on. It's threatening their safety and their survival as a nation. So, what do you believe the author is trying to bring across in the speech? Well, speaker, but we reading it. So, all right. Thank you. Anyone? Fulano says victory. Okay. Where is he trying to rally up the people to do then? I can't get more. Uh, I can't give more hint than that. Like that. Like, what is he trying to rally the people to do? Because that would be his contention. Yes, defend the island home. In other words, all right, we're going to war. All right, there is a war going on. Our safety and our survival is being threatened, and we want to protect what we have. We want to fight. All right, we want to make sure that we protect our island home. So we have to fight to protect, what is ours. All right, to protect our safety. Because if not, then the enemy is going to take over. And at the end of the day, they are now under, they are servants or whatever like that. All right, they are in captivity and subjugation, as the word says. So very good. So we identified uh, the issue, a war going on, concern, that's a concern. We identified the author's contention, they should fight to protect, as Miracle said, the island home. Now, I'll skip the third question and just go straight to the fourth. Can anybody actually point out for me at least one persuasive technique that is used? And we'll close off with that. What is one persuasive technique that is used in this speech? And you have basically a minute to, but let me give you a portion of where you can find it. Yes. Very good. Stephanie has it. Repetition. Repetition is straight through a thing. You can't miss repetition. All right? Pardon? All right, give me, I see repetition, we shall fight. Give me another example of repetition. What's another example of repetition? But yes, appeal to emotion. And we can accept that, even though if it's not explicit, it is implicit. All right. No one has any other example of repetition? But definitely, Stephanie, you're correct. All right, because repetition is like, we shall go on the end. We shall fight in France. We shall fight on the seas and oceans. We shall fight with growing confidence and with growing strength in the air. We shall defend our island home, wherever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight the hills. We shall never surrender. And even if, which I do not for a moment believe, this island or a large part of it, if it were subjugated and starving, then our empire beyond the seas, armed and guarded by the British fleet, would carry on the struggle until in God's good time the new world with all its power and might steps forward to the rescue and the liberation of the old. So, yes, can Someone please place attendance link, I guess, and chat, and then you are free to leave. Thank you so much for all of my participants today. Those that answered questions, those that were willing readers. I really appreciated you guys today. All right, very good.